Hello and welcome to Let's Play Project Zomboid, Episode 11. At the start of Special Agent Mulder's 15th day of survival. Yeah, we're feeling pretty good. We got a huge amount of food. We have a generator and the magazine, and some gas, and a couple of vehicles. Alright, bear with me a second. I'm going to turn my desktop volume down. Stand by. Alright, and we're back. So, let's take a look at the map and see what we want to explore today. I want to continue with downtown. And possibly more of the rich people neighborhood. One thing I would like to do today is do a little bit of car mechanics. So let's take a look at my skill menu here. So I've read 160 out of 220 pages of Mechanics, Volume 1. And if I go to the skill menu, I see that I have a 2.1x multiplier on gaining Mechanics XP. So now that I'm getting into the 2x, 3x range for Mechanics, I think it's going to be worthwhile to start grinding Mechanics skill. Actually, you know what? The first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to get rid of this tree. Tired of this tree in my front yard blocking my view. In this game, that's a liability. No doubt about it. I'm going to attempt to chop down this tree with my hatchet. It's probably going to take a bunch of swings, but it'll be worth it. Check for Zeds. Right click on the tree and click cut down tree and select it. Alright, so that's 11 swings. The game doesn't show an animation of the tree falling over or anything. It just disappears and it leaves behind some items. So, twigs and logs. Sometimes it leaves branches as well. So twigs are useful for campfires. However, with my generator situation the way it is, I don't even think I'm going to bother with any campfire stuff. Because I will have the generator, plenty of gas, and I can just use the oven for any cooking and water purifying. However, these two logs left behind are definitely very useful. So if I right-click on one of them, actually, I have a saw in my inventory. Okay. This game's menus are janky. You have to do it from the like ground menu up here. But if I right click on log, I can saw the log. I can do this if I have a saw in my inventory. And each log gives me 3 planks. So let's go ahead and do that to the other log. Cool. Now I got some planks. And crucially, there's no longer a blind spot in my front yard where that tree was. Alright. Let's do a little bit of mechanics skill. To work on a car, you need 3 tools, which I've collected already. You need the wrench. Put that in my main inventory. You need the lug wrench, and you need the jack. So the car mechanic system in this game is pretty involved, and there's a lot of depth to it, but we'll cover the basics, I guess. Press E to go to the hood of the car, press E to open up the car mechanic menu. So all these car parts listed here can be removed and reinstalled from the car. Removing and reinstalling gives you XP. If you happen to find a spare car part somewhere out in the world, you can use this same process to replace it in your vehicle. So just as an example, if I break my front windshield on the Jeep, the fake Jeep, I can take the windshield off of another vehicle and install it in the Jeep. So let's talk about how this works as far as compatibility between types of cars. The game actually makes it super easy for you. Any car part from a standard car can be swapped with a similar car part from any other standard car. So the Jeep and this white car over to the side here are both standard cars. So that means that I can put the windshield from the white car on the Jeep and vice versa. I can do the same thing with the tires, the brakes, the suspension, the windows, the doors. Since they're both standard cars, all parts are interchangeable between them. And the same rule applies with sports cars and with utility cars. So this fossil oil van that I have here is a heavy duty or commercial car. Those are synonymous. So if I wanted to replace any of this crap on here, I would have to find it from another commercial grade car. So let's start getting some mechanic XP. I'm starting from 0 XP out of 75. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to remove the battery from this car. So I right-click on battery, and I can uninstall the battery. There's no probability listed, so that means I have a 100% chance of uninstalling the battery from this car, from this van. All I need is a screwdriver to do that. I guess before when I said I needed 3 tools, a screwdriver would be a 4th tool. Anyway, so I'm going to uninstall the battery. I was successful, and now I have a heavy-duty car battery in my inventory. And then on the menu for the van, I noticed that it is missing a battery. And that actually has consequences. That means that this car will not start. Uninstalling the battery gave me a tiny bit of XP. It gave me 0.52 XP out of 75. So let's go ahead and reinstall the battery. Right click, install, and I'm going to install that same battery that I have in my inventory. And it's a 100% chance of success. So now I have 1.05 XP out of 75. And this XP is accruing twice as fast as it normally would because I took the time to read the mechanic skill book. I can't just sit here and uninstall, reinstall the battery all day long. You can only do it 1 cycle per day. So 1 uninstall of the battery and 1 reinstall of the battery, and that's all you get for the day. Any further battery work will not give you any more XP. So what else can I grind on this car? Let's do the lights. We have front and left headlights and, left and right headlights and left and right tail lights. So let's work on a headlight here. Right click, uninstall. There's no probability, which means I have a 100% chance, so I'm going to uninstall that headlight. Now I have a light bulb in my inventory, and I should have gained a little bit of XP. Yep, I got another 0.5. Let's do the same to the right headlight. Do the same to the left tail light. And the same to the right tail light. So now I have 3 out of 75 mechanic skill. And let's go ahead and reinstall those lights. The lights are counted as independent parts, so I will get the full XP for doing each one of the 4 lights. But I can't work on car lights anymore for this particular car. It will not give me any more XP. Alright, now let's do the radio. Right click on the radio, uninstall. There's no probability, so I uninstall the radio. Now I have a Value Tech radio in my inventory, and I gained a little bit of XP. Let's reinstall the radio. Cool. So that exercise has gotten me about 6 out of 75 XP for the next level of mechanics. Now let's talk about the other components on the car. You can work on like basically anything on this car. The doors, the windows, the windshield, the engine, the exhaust system, the gas tank, the wheels, the brakes. But those other parts require skill to successfully do. So let's just use an example. Let's try to uninstall the hood. So I right click on uninstalling the hood, and this time a bunch of requirements come up. I need a wrench, which I do have. I need to have read the skill book for commercial cars, which I have. It gives me a recommended skill of mechanics level 3. Well, I'm at level 0. But that doesn't mean that I automatically fail. It's actually based on probability. So I have a 35% chance of successfully uninstalling the hood and a 65% chance of failure. If I fail to uninstall the hood, I actually get a small amount of XP, but I will damage the hood in trying. So I'm still going to try because this is a shit car, and I don't care if I damage the hood, but I wouldn't want to do this on my main car. I would only want to do repairs that have a 100% chance of success. Otherwise, I would damage the component. Alright, so let's uninstall this hood. 1 in 3 chance, and it was a failure. But I did get a little bit of XP. However, it damaged the hood. So now the hood is in critical condition. Let's do the same with the windshield. Uninstalling the windshield, it recommends mechanic skill 5, and I have a 5% chance of success here. It's probably going to damage the windshield even more. Yep, it sure did. I did get some XP though. Let's try the front right window. This one has a recommended mechanic skill of 3. Yay, success. If you actually successfully uninstall something that's above your mechanic pay grade, you get bonus XP. So now I have 8.5 out of 75. And I have a front window in my inventory, so I'm just going to set it on the ground. I'm going to try to uninstall the door. To uninstall a door on a vehicle, you need to remove the window first, which I just did. So I'm going to try to uninstall the door. Recommended mechanic skill of 4, so it's probably going to be a failure. It was a failure. Now let's try to reinstall that front window. It was a success, surprisingly. So I got some bonus XP. Now, that's all the mechanics we're going to do for today, because scavenging is more fun. So I'm just going to drop my tools on the ground, and let's go adventuring. I do need more food before we go, though. The lemons and limes have gone stale. Didn't eat those fast enough. Needless to say, when you're doing mechanic stuff, you have to watch your 6 constantly, because zombos can and will sneak up on you and completely ruin your day. Let's hop in the Jeep. Hop in the Jeep and go. For some reason, the Jeep corners really well. Each of the vehicles in the game has a bunch of stats and things. Apparently the Jeep is quite good at turning. Alright, so I'm back downtown. I've already attracted 4 zombos. Pull out a yieldy crowbar. Squish. So why bother leveling up mechanics in the first place? Well, because if you manage to get to mechanics level 2, as well as electronics level 1, then you can hotwire vehicles. That means you can grab any vehicle that you want, regardless of if you find a key for it. That is powerful. Having a high mechanic skill also allows you to keep your vehicle in tip-top shape. Eventually things are going to start wearing out on your car, like the tires, the suspension, all that stuff. Every time a zombie hits your car, it damages it slightly, and all of that stuff can be repaired with a investment into mechanics. Looks like we have a ambulance that crashed into a white sedan. Let's see if I can find anything useful inside this ambulance. Ambulance is in terrible condition because it was just in a wreck. It's also locked. I'm going to go ahead and smash the window and see what's inside of it. That's another useful thing about having a high mechanic skill is if you have smashed a window of a car to get into it, you can use your mechanic skill to replace that window. And like I said before, you just need a window from the same general class of vehicle, and it will fit right in. So in the back of the ambulance, I found some trauma bags. A trauma bag is basically like a medical duffel bag. I think they have the same stats as duffel bags. I can check that. But the trauma bag will have medical goodies in it. It's a shame that the first aid system in this game is so lame. But anyway, I digress. Chug some milk from the fridge. Okay, so does the trauma bag have the same stats? Let's check that. It holds 18 and has a encumbrance reduction of 65. I think that's the same as a duffel bag. If you're early on in your playthrough, it can be quite nice to find an ambulance because they often have trauma bags in them, and you can use them as duffel bags. It just looks kind of silly, but otherwise it functions just fine as a duffel. This white car is destroyed. Might as well take the duct tape out of the trunk. So I've arrived at a hardware store. Hardware stores and gun stores are among the most sought after places to loot in this game. Let's see if we can find anything good in this hardware store. I'm really hoping for an axe. Leaf rake, pipe wrench. Seeds would be nice too. A trowel. Box of nails, I'll take that. Hammer. I'm going to leave the hammer because I think I've got enough hammers for the time being. Box of screws. There's a zombie outside. We'll keep an eye on him. Cabbage. Seeds. Yes, please. An empty bucket and an empty watering can. Both of those are quite good. I think the watering can holds the most water of any portable container in the game. Oh, sweet. I found a bunch of seeds. Carrots, strawberries, and tomatoes. I'm going to take all of those. Another box of nails. A welder mask. Great. So to do metalworking, you need basically three things. You need a metalworking torch, which I already have one of. You need a source of propane, because your torch is going to use up the propane. By the way, that's not very realistic, but we'll hand wave it away for gameplay reasons. In real life, metalworking torches do not use propane. They use different gases like acetylene. What was I saying? Yeah, and then the third item that you need is a welding mask. And I just found the welding mask. So I have the 3 components that I need to do metalworking. Metalworking is pretty good skill. You can use it to make very strong barricades on your doors and windows. You can actually weld like metal bars to your doors and windows. And you can also use it to make metal shelves, metal walls for your base if you want to. It takes an insane amount of resources, but you can do that. And then the best thing you can do with metalworking is make metal containers. So a metal container takes up one tile of floor area, but it holds the most amount of encumbrance of any container in the game. I think a metal container holds like 80 or 90 encumbrance. And you can also stack them on top of each other. You can do that with normal containers too. You can stack as high as 3. So, assuming I'm remembering the numbers right, 3 metal containers stacked is 240 encumbrance in a single tile of area. I call that pretty solid. So what I've got here is a Spiffo van. As a reminder, Spiffos is a fast food joint in the game, and Spiffo is the orange raccoon who is the Project Zomboid mascot. So this is like a Spiffo's catering van or something. I found a car key, and it looks like it's for the Chevalier Cerise wagon. So this very 80s looking station wagon here is called a Chevalier Cerise. Cerise, like the song by Ghost. It's not spelled the same way, but whatever. Let's check out the station wagon. It might have good stats. There's no gas. One thing I'm going to start checking with vehicles is the engine quality. So real quick, let me find where that is in the menu. So if I click on engine, there's this stat here that comes up called engine quality. So the engine quality is the basic craftsmanship of the engine when it was originally built. So to use a real world example, like, I don't like German cars in real life, but you might assume that a BMW engine is a high quality engine, so it's more reliable. It might be more reliable than a Kia engine, or like a Hyundai or a Honda engine or something. So that'd be like the engine quality. It's like how reliable the engine inherently is. The engine quality determines how often the engine starts on the first try, which, this being a horror game, can be important. So the Chevalier Cerise wagon has an engine quality of 47, which sucks. So no matter how good of a state of repair the engine is in, it's still going to constantly have trouble starting. That's what that 47 means. So I'd say this makes the Cerise wagon a low priority car to take as a working vehicle. Got this very crunched up looking red pickup with a covered bed and a zombie coming. Let's go ahead and send this sister to the promised land. By the way, in real life, BMWs suck. Don't ever buy one. Same goes for any German car. The best cars in the world are made in Japan. Buy a Japanese car. There's your real life advice for the day. So what I have here is a Dash Bull Driver. It's a pickup with a covered bed. Let's look at the engine quality. This one has even worse engine quality, 44. So it's also going to be low priority for a car. Wasn't even anything useful in the bed either. That leaves the Spiffo van. On the outside, the Spiffo van looks pretty good. There's no gas in it. Can't get in the door, so I'm gonna have to smash the window. And the engine quality is 72, so that's better than those other two cars. Ideally, you want a car with engine quality that's in the high 90s or even 100. And that's going to ensure that the car starts basically every time. Huh. So in the back of the Spiffo van, I found a Spiffo stuffed animal, which I already have one of those. I also found 2 paper bags with some food that is probably rotten, but we'll check. Yep, we got rotten burger, rotten fries, rotten burger, rotten fries. Great. Anyway, let's continue exploring for a bit here. I think up ahead we have a grocery store. Or rather like a small corner market or bodega type thing. Yep, sure do. Can't get inside. I'm gonna have to smash a window. Deal with 3 of these batters. Batters. At this point, pretty much all the produce in here will have spoiled, but we'll check. Yep, rotten, rotten, rotten. Oh yeah, it's all rotten. It's been sitting in those bins for 2 weeks. The dry stuff, like these shelves, I'm just gonna skip for now, because I know that it's gonna be non-perishable. Let's check out these refrigerators over here. We got butter and eggs. Grab those. Butter, eggs, margarine. Grab those. Lots of calories. Calories are king. 2 fresh burritos. And a stale PB&J. I'll take the burritos. And then these shelves and racks are going to have just a bunch of dry stuff. So I can come back to this grocery store at my leisure and clear it all out of all the useful dry stuff. Got a little storeroom in the back here with 2 more fridges. What do we got? 5 fresh burritos. Nice. Cool. And I also found some crates. So these wooden crates here are high quality storage containers. They take up 1 tile of space, and each crate can hold 60 encumbrance. So what I'm going to do is pull the Jeep up, and I'm going to try to take some of these crates home with me. First, I'm going to get rid of some of the bullshit that's in my inventory. Don't want to be over encumbered too much. Got a biter. Head back to the Jeep. Real quick, I'm going to mark off the stuff that I've cleared. Cleared the laundromat. What's a symbol I can use for the hardware store? I'm going to use the axe symbol, even though I didn't find an axe in there. And then for food, I usually put the burger symbol. So that's going to go there. That's where the grocery store is. Start up the Jeep. I need to beat a quick escape, you know. All right, so to take the crate home, I have to pick it up. So I'm going to use the furniture pickup option over here on the left. And there's a certain chance of failure to pick this up. It depends on my carpentry skill, but I'm still going to try. Picking up the crate, and I broke it. If you hear that comical crunching sound, that means that I broke the crate instead of picking it up. Unfortunately, it's just a dice roll, whether you're successful in picking it up or not. There also has to be nothing in the crate if you attempt to pick it up. Try to pick up this top one here. And I broke it, and we'll try to pick up the bottom one. Third time's the charm, hopefully. No, I broke that one too. That sucks. It makes me annoyed. I don't like that. This is the luck of the Zomboid, I guess. Although I remember this store here having crates in the back of it as well. Might as well take a gander. Oh, there's Zomboids in here. Foolhardy Agent Mulder. Willing to risk my life for a crate. Come on. So this store here is a haberdashery, also known as a clothing store. I think haberdashery means a men's clothing store. Got crates back here? Or is it just shitty cardboard boxes? It's shitty cardboard boxes. Ugh, not even worth taking. Fortunately, my mission was not successful. I did not get one of those sweet wooden crates. Makes me sad. Head on back to base. The non-copyrighted Jeep can also traverse rough terrain a lot better, as you might expect. Pull up to the house, turn the lights off, turn the car off. What we got in the back? Anything? Did I put anything in the back? Nope. Oh no, the burritos all went stale. Oh, that's annoying. Yeah, those burritos are pretty much dead to me now. There's no way to make a burrito fresh again once it goes stale. Store my ink cartons. Store the margarine. I got some goodies. Definitely got some goodies. Put the welder mask over on this side. I think the seeds I was putting in this shelf here. Drop my seeds in there. Wood glue goes in the garage. Boxes of nails go in the garage. Duct tape goes in the hall closet. Lighter and matches. I can probably stop picking up lighters and matches for now. This plank that I got from the broken crate, I'm just going to set on the floor. Take it out there tomorrow and put it to use. Actually, I do want to put my containers outside so that if it rains they can fill on up. Stash my empty gas can. Oh! Saved by the jump scare again. Oh, there's more of them. Jeez. I'm also drowsy. This is not particularly great. Yeah, so when I'm drowsy, I have a pretty nasty debuff to my combat skills. I should be able to fight these two. While I'm out here, I'm gonna dump those stale burritos on some corpses. Let's head on inside. Do we have any other zombies out here? Doesn't look like it, but it is quite dark. Butter is in the fridge. Hand axe goes back in the All-American Armory. And even though it's late, I need to eat some food, so we'll cook. Let's go ahead and cook some up. Some ground beef and meat patties. While these are cooking up, I'm just going to read the mechanic skill book. Wow, I didn't turn the oven on. Genius. Top tier gameplay right there. I was wondering why it was taking so long to thaw. So the ground beef and the meat patty are cooking now. Now that I had the presence of mind to actually turn the oven on, you know? Mechanic skill book is at almost 190 out of 220. And now my mechanics skill multiplier is 2.4x. Turn the oven off. Go ahead and fire down a meat patty. Looks like my laceration healed. So I removed the bandage, and now the laceration has completely disappeared from my status screen. So it looks like my weight is 87 with 2 up chevrons. I am overweight, but that's okay. And favorite weapon is still crowbar, and I've killed it looks like 403 zombies, and I've survived for 15 days. Go ahead and drift off to sleep here. Mulder drifts off at 4:10 a.m. and wakes up fully rested at 8:40. Classic 4.5 hours of sleep. That's going to wrap it up. Peace.